Flirty senator banned from domestic violence shelter. Another explosive, ridiculous headline. Let's talk about what's behind this one. Flirty GOP state senator banned from domestic violence shelter. Here's the reporting. GOP lawmaker, Senator Tom A. Wright, no stranger to controversy, including being banned from a women's shelter. Beacon Center for allegedly flirting with domestic violence survivors. Because that's what we're into, Senator? What on earth is wrong with you? Former Beacon Center CEO Angie Pye alleged that she put a stop to Wright coming on the property because of his flirty or grooming type of behavior. Pye told the News Journal he got really angry. Afternet with the details. Wright got into a videotape confrontation with the shelter's interim CEO and was given a trespass warning from Daytona Beach police, barring him from the Beacon Center. Pye, who resigned as CEO on August 31st, and others say Wright has made allegations about human trafficking, prostitution, and drug use going on at the center. Publication adds that during a Florida State Senate committee hearing, Wright accused Pye's husband of having a conflict of interest regarding the shelter. All of those claims were false, they said. Director of the Daytona Beach Domestic Violence Shelter said, State Senator Tom Wright confronted her with such force when she ordered him off a bus full of residents that she feared for her safety. But state officials nonetheless gave him a tour of the facility at his insistence. Orlando Sentinel. This is just more reporting, folks. Physical contact with him was a warning shot, said Jessica Rivers, former CEO of the Beacon Center and a domestic violence survivor herself. Was enough force to make a sound, but not leave a mark. He came at me. It wasn't a friendly touch, but the touch of a parent or authority type striking me to get my attention. I want you to watch this. Let's watch this together. And there you see the confrontation. And the way it reads to me is one of dominance. Certain people prey on people because they can, and they think they can get away with it because they usually do. They usually do. It's despicable conduct, Mayor. And the more people weigh in on the conduct by State Senator Wright, the more I do believe that he had special interests, not in a good way, of women who experience domestic violence, because we know what comes with that. We know some women are left to shell of themselves as they try to rebuild. They're not ready and they don't have the tools because they've been hurt so badly to fight back. They're vulnerable.
I just don't understand this nasty person's point of view. Like, what's your angle here? You're on a bus filled with women who are at a women domestic violence shelter, and you are being violent towards a woman. You think anybody on that bus is comfortable with you after they see this, and they had to see the interaction looking over through the windows? This is absolute disgusting behavior. Regardless, I allege he was being flirty, and I don't care if he was or wasn't. If a woman asks you to leave a domestic violence shelter, why is this your reaction? How can this be your reaction? You absolutely should be banned from this place. You are a trigger for every woman in that space, most likely. Yeah. This to me is the equivalent. This is the moral equivalent to price gouging. You are privilege gouging. You have the title and the male chauvinist attitude to match it. And you're gonna say, I'm gonna impose my will. And matter of fact, just because you're the CEO, I'm gonna go over your head and still get a tour of this facility.
And I'm gonna malign your character too, and that of your spouse.
Of course I am.
Because that's what I do. It's sick, and I'd like to know more about what he's gotten into, because I don't know why you're fighting so hard. Maybe just the sight of a man after what people in that shelter have been through is just what they don't need. If they tell you that, you should say, oh, you know what, I understand. Let's back off here. You didn't do that, so you really have me thinking about more. Mayor, I don't want to get in your business, but if I were to go into your wardrobe closet in Enfield, North Carolina, I wonder if I dug through the pockets, would I find $500,000 in cash or gold bars? Would I find that, Mayor? It's your business.
I keep my gold bars in the refrigerator because they probably got chocolate inside that gold wrap.
Well, then I'll take some of those, okay? Because I believe you, okay, man of the people. And I don't know where Senator Bob Menendez apparently got all that cash and gold bars, but DOJ is aiming to find out and prove a case against him. He's in trouble again. Senator Bob Menendez and his wife, indicted on bribery charges. The DOJ seizes gold bars and $500,000. This is like something I saw off that HBO series that was so successful. Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez was charged on Friday with corruption-related offenses for the second time in 10 years. Menendez and his wife, Nadine Arslanian Menendez, accused of accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes in exchange for the senator's influence. That's according to the newly unsealed federal indictment. CNN with the details on this one. This is the second set of corruption charges levied against Menendez by the Justice Department in a decade. He previously fought off conspiracy, bribery, and honest services fraud related to alleged personal favors. Prosecutors allege the bribes included gold, cash, home mortgage payments, compensation for a low or no-show job, luxury vehicle. Menendez is up for re-election next year. He has been in the Senate since 2006. Senate Democratic Caucus rules will force Menendez to step aside as the chairman of the powerful Foreign Relations Committee, but he can still serve on the panel. Does that make sense? Particularly when you look at this picture, folks. Just take a look at it. Evidence. Menendez has vigorously denied any wrongdoing. Menendez also previously set up a legal defense fund. Beginning in April, his wife sold gold bars worth as much as $400,000. That, according to the senator's most recent financial disclosure form. Now, this ain't his first rodeo, Mayor, and it feels like if these allegations are even partially true, he became emboldened when he beat the rap the first time. The charges were not as serious, but they were plentiful. Hung jury, and then he went back to work and nothing to see here. This is more serious, and I'll let you explain how another country, Egypt, comes into play, he and his wife, because this is serious.
Yeah, and I think this is gonna be the sticking stone. There may be ideas that you can walk away from, or you may have an explanation for this monies and these gold bars. I want to hear this creative explanation, but how you were doing the bidding for Egypt, how that's gonna play out when you swore oath to the Constitution of the United States and have no loyalty to other countries, benefiting, advocating, creating space, using your Senate space, Senate office to do so, meeting with officials from Egypt, elected officials, government officials, with no staff members, only your girlfriend at the time and her friend. Yeah, we got some serious questions we need to ask Menendez. And I better not hear a Democrat trying to say this is equivalent to Trump witch hunts. This is real. We need to investigate this, and every Democrat should be saying it, that we need to investigate this, because I'm telling you, the footing for holding Donald Trump accountable lies at this case right here.
That part.
The Justice Department cannot be crooked when they're going after people that sit on the outside of the aisle in this manner. We are obligated to say something is wrong with the Menendez situation. 2 times back to back, the Justice Department are not trumping up charges for him or the other guy from Jersey who was a mobster who was on TV. But this seems like the same story. This seems like the same story. You $500,000 in cash.
Stuffed inside of things, Mayor.
First of all, I don't have enough things to stuff $500,000 in.
Yeah.
I'm not that comfortable. And if you got $500,000 stuffed in things around your house, what do you have? What is the amount of money you have stuffed everywhere else?
Wow.
Probably, unfortunately, illegal too. Offshore account stuff, right? In the Caribbean, offshore accounts stuffed in Swiss. Where? Who does this?
Yeah.
I mean, this story is not reality except for it is right now in 2023.
Yeah. And I think you're exactly right. As we went to press on the air today, the silence was deafening from fellow Democrats. Perhaps since we've been on, they've spoken up, but I would think something like maybe you could script something for them, Mayor, because it's not that hard, okay? We have a Justice Department and Merrick Garland here, right? And he said, you know what? I'm going for it, okay? You can't say that the other side is anti-justice and this and that unless you speak up here.
Yeah, I think that's 100% right. And I mean, when you have other senators going to bat saying, "Oh, I don't believe this, and this," you're giving space for Republicans to defend Donald Trump. We better have our time to sit back and say, we're gonna let justice have its way with Mendez. And whatever happens, happens. But we need to we need to stand on the side of Justice Department. Because we know Merrick Garland is a stand-up citizen and should be on the Supreme Court, but for the frog that we call McConnell.
I'm so tired of politics. And I mean, so is everyone, but like, I like a little debate, healthy debate and discourse, and I think it makes us better. But I want to revisit term limits in our final moments here. Because it's one thing to say and support, look, we should be able to elect whoever we want, but we're not able to elect whoever we want. Not when lines are drawn in the kookiest way and things are passed in the ways at the local level to prevent people. And oh, by the way, I live in Georgia and my friends are saying, you better check the voter rolls to make sure you're not kicked off. What do you mean kicked off? So it's a facade, it's a lie. I don't know when Bob Menendez perhaps decided that he was in the Senate for himself and not the people he's elected to serve, innocent till proven guilty, but where there's smoke, there's fire. But at some point, he crossed over. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, he crossed over, and then it also adds to people's feelings of being disassociated, tired of politics, and people believe what happens in DC happens all over this country, and we all get a bad rap, right? The idea that all politicians show up like the 550 in DC or the 551, how many ever are in DC, is a misnomer. Most politicians in this country aren't rich. There's 55,000 elected people in this country, and we are working people. It is the dastard behavior that we're talking about right now that gives people a bad taste about politicians, and it is a shame.